Hi there, my name is Claire Morgan, and I am a fifth grade teacher with West Des Moines Schools at a school called Crestview School of Inquiry. And for my AIP project, I chose to research how to improve multiplication fact fluency through gamification. So, one of the challenges in my classroom and also my fifth grade PLC team members' classrooms, is the lack of multiplication fact fluency. So, I thought, what better opportunity to integrate technology into my classroom to improve multiplication fact fluency and hopefully bring that to my PLC. So, looking a little bit about what this project is going to be about, or this presentation, I'll start with my problem statement and share a bit of research. I will share my annotated bibliography themes that I found. I'll then move into the three possible solutions that I'll use, and I'll pick one of them and share the implementation calendar of how I'm going to implement it into my classroom. And then lastly, I'll share findings. Unfortunately, all these findings are hypothetical, but I do plan to implement this research into my classroom at the beginning of the school year in August. And hopefully, fingers crossed, all my hypothetical findings are true. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with my problem statement. And I'm actually going to make it a little bigger, so you will lose me for a few moments. My problem statement. So, mathematical fact fluency is a foundational skill for upper elementary math. However, many students lack basic math fact fluency, resulting in low mathematical proficiency scores. Math fact fluency is the ability to rapidly and accurately respond to the four mathematic operations, which are obviously addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Math fact fluency is essential for later success in more complex mathematics, such as algebra or long division. So I have an example here of a long division problem and how long division still, although it's division, incorporates fact fluency and multiplication. This study will focus on multiplication fact fluency, specifically the automaticity with multiplication. If automaticity of multiplication facts is not developed and maintained, learners typically struggle to develop subsequent math concepts. Procedural knowledge is a theoretical framework that can support the implementation of multiplication automaticity. Procedural knowledge is frequently supported by direct teaching and drill and practice. This study will focus on procedural knowledge framework with gamification. Gamification utilizes game characteristics and features for non-game applications to make them more fun, more engaging, and perhaps educationally more effective. Gamification programs can support more individualized instruction and personalized learning. Effective fluency building instruction with gamification should have an integration of modeling, provide ample drill and practice with immediate and corrective feedback. Moving on to my annotated bibliography. Again, I'm going to share the screen a little bit bigger, and I'll share the three themes that I found. So from the 20 articles that I reviewed, I found three collective themes. The first was technology and how technology can support learners, especially through digital gameplay or gamification, which are fairly similar to one another. The second theme I found was the importance of feedback. Immediate and corrective feedback is critical for gamification or digital play to be effective. And lastly, I looked more into motivation and how digital gameplay and gamification can be motivating. And I found that technology is a tool to be used to motivate and engage students, especially if it has extrinsic and or intrinsic motivators. Moving on to my possible solutions. They include all of those themes that I talked about. So there's gamification. All of them have immediate and corrective feedback, and then they also have motivating factors. So the first possible solution I have is Freckle. So this is plan number one. Freckle is a gamification model that uses a drill and practice method. They have a multitude of multiplication facts that they go through and answer. There's an extrinsic motivator in Freckle, so they actually earn coins for each problem that they get correct, and then these coins are used to personalize their avatar. And lastly, it has immediate and corrective feedback. For example, if a student gets a problem wrong, it'll share the correct answer. If a student gets a problem correct, it will tell them that they are correct. I'm going to go big here again and share an example of Freckle in action. This is not just multiplication. A teacher can assign just multiplication, Right here, this example is including just all fact fluency, but you get the idea. So as you can see, you're earning coins for the ones correct. The ones incorrect, it will let you know. For the data collection process, I do have a pre and post assessment. I'm sure you are aware of a 2-minute math graphic organizer. They have 2 minutes to answer as many problems as they can. This would be given at the beginning and the end of the research. I also have formative data. This is Freckles' formative data collection plan. It actually shares a lot of different data pieces. It shares the level that the student is on, the accuracy of the student, and then fact mastery. This is the fact mastery graph. The green is something that they've mastered. Blue means they are working on it, they're practicing it, and gray means they have not yet been given problems to practice that. Plan number 2 is 99 Math, which also uses a drill and practice. They have a minute to answer as many problems, fact problems, as they can. 99 Math also includes extrinsic motivators, which the extrinsic motivators unlock rewards. So they get to get new rewards that they use. And then also they get unique avatars. And then they also have immediate feedback, but however, it is not corrective. It will just tell them if they got the answer wrong, but it will not tell them the correct answer. Here I have a teacher showing it in action again. Just give it a few seconds. So it shows basically like a calculator look, and then they have to type in the correct answer. Just like plan number 1 with Freckle, the pre and post assessment is the same, 2-minute math. And then this is the data collection process for 99 Math. And the data that I would be looking at is the accuracy, the time taken on a problem. So for example, she probably took about 5 seconds on the first problem. It would tell me how long she takes, which I think is really helpful. And then however many mistakes. So I can see what mistakes they made and what they put in for the problem. Possible solution number 3 is a little bit different. It uses a 5-step plan. So it has 5 different gamification models that they do. Some are repetitive drill and practice, and then some are little actual soccer games that they play to shoot in if they get the answer correct, they shoot it in the goal. There are extrinsic motivators for each step that they complete. They get a mini trophy. When they get to the big, when they finish all 5, they get a big trophy. And then some of the 5-step programs have immediate feedback, but not all of them. This is an example of one of the steps that they have to get through. So they answer 15 fact fluency problems. Just like plan 1 and plan 2, the pre and post assessment is the same for the data collection. And then this is a bit different from the last 2. Timestables.com does not use it's not teacher data. It's more just a student use. So I would give a paper and pencil based on the fact mastery that they're at. Because times table goes by fact practice, so you would be on times 2 or times 5 or times 7. I would give the certain graphic organizer for those, what fact level they are on. My plan of choice is actually Freckle, and you might be asking why, and I'm going to make it bigger again. For starters, Freckle, I believe to be the most motivating out of all 3. I think the idea of students getting coins and being able to spend their money to personalize their avatar would be the most motivating and engaging. I have seen or used Freckle at the beginning of my teaching career. I didn't use it just to focus on fact fluency, but I did notice that they were very motivated by coins. The second reason I chose Freckle is because I think the feedback that it gives the students is really helpful. It's immediate and it's corrective. The data collection process for me as a teacher is very straightforward with the use of Freckle. I can see what facts they're working on. I can see what problems they're having and kind of go from there. And then lastly, it's user-friendly. So it's easy for my students to use, and it's also compatible with their Chromebooks. Moving to my implementation calendar, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So this is a 4-week long implementation project that I would do. So for starting with week 1, I would begin my Monday with pre-assessing the students. So they would get that 2-minute math graphic organizer. On Tuesday, I would model how to use Freckle. I would share the expectations, how to log in, what you're actually doing. You're not dilly-dallying. You're doing the actual fact Freckle practice that I want them to do. Wednesday and Thursday, during math rotations, they'll have 15 minutes to play the Freckle Fact Fluency game. And then Friday is a time for them to spend their coins and personalize their Freckle avatar. And then with whatever time they have after, they'll work on the fact fluency. I thought that picking a day where they can actually spend the coins would be helpful. That way the expectations aren't getting like misconstrued and they're spending more time on Wednesday doing that. So then week 2 and week 3 are very similar to one another. On Monday, they'll practice Freckle for 15 minutes during those math rotations. On Tuesday, I would actually confer with individual students and I would go over their data with them and ask, like, how are things going with you? Is there anything else you need? And just kind of talk about Freckle with them and the data that I'm seeing. I also think that might be an intrinsic motivator for them because they'll want me to come to that conference the next time and say, wow, look at all this growth. So I think that would be an intrinsic motivator. Wednesday and Thursday for week 2 and 3, they're practicing Freckle for 15 minutes. And then just like last Fridays, they are spending their money and also working with extra time on Freckle. For week 4, I'm not going to be conferencing with them on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They'll be doing Freckle for 15 minutes. Thursday looks like their Friday. They'll spend their coins and also practice Freckle. And then Friday, I'll be giving the post-assessment. Hopefully what I find, so again, these are all hypothetical ideas to me based on research, obviously. So I'm going to make it bigger again. Excuse me. My first finding I'm hoping to find is that gamification increased multiplication fact fluency. So I'm hoping that when I look at my pre and my post, I'm seeing some growth. I would love for exponential growth, but even just a little growth would be very helpful to me in my classroom. And then I'm also hoping while I'm looking at that formative data and also conferencing with students that they are growing and working through more problems. For finding number 2, my hypothetical finding would be gamification with extrinsic motivators, increase student motivation and engagement. I plan to give a survey on how they felt about the coins and how they felt about spending the coins on their avatars and seeing if that actually motivated them or not. Based on my research, extrinsic motivators are extremely motivating for students. So that's why I wrote that as a hypothetical finding. And then my last finding I'm hoping to find is that immediate feedback and corrective feedback increase student engagement and achievement. This would be part of that survey, like I said, for finding number 2, where they said, yes, like immediate feedback helped me, or yes, immediate feedback didn't. According to my research, again, immediate and corrective feedback is beneficial for engagement and achievement, which is why I decided that. And that's really all I have to share. I thank you for listening to my presentation and I hope you enjoyed, and fingers crossed my hypothetical findings are true in September. All right. Thank you and have a great day.